For decades, West Asia has lived in fear of a direct war between Iran and Israel, a nightmare scenario that has now become reality. The shadow war of proxies and covert attacks has erupted into open conflict. As of June 19, 2025, Israeli jets strike deep inside Iran, while Iranian missiles rain down on Israeli cities. This is no longer a distant threat, it's a direct clash between two regional powers, dragging the world to the edge of catastrophe. The old rules are gone. Each side now openly claims responsibility for attacks on the other's territory. The fighting, now in its 7th day, shows no sign of stopping. Civilians are paying the highest price. Families in both countries huddle in shelters, gripped by fear and uncertainty. The war is not just between armies, it's being waged on the homes and futures of millions. The international community watches in horror as the region spirals toward devastation. The fragile peace that once held is shattered, and the consequences are being felt by ordinary people on both sides. The scale of firepower is staggering. Nearly 400 Iranian ballistic missiles and hundreds of drones have targeted Israeli military and civilian sites. Israel's advanced air defenses, including Iron Dome and Arrow, have been partially overwhelmed. About 35 missiles have struck their targets, causing significant damage. Notably, a missile hit Soroka Hospital, underscoring the vulnerability of even vital civilian infrastructure. In response, Israel's Operation Rising Lion has unleashed devastating airstrikes across Iran, targeting nuclear facilities, military bases, and command centers. Civilian areas have not been spared, with widespread destruction and casualties reported in both countries. Iran aims to prove no Israeli city is safe. Israel seeks to cripple Iran's nuclear ambitions and military leadership. The result? A relentless cycle of attack and retaliation, with civilians caught in the crossfire. Beneath the headlines, a human tragedy unfolds. In Iran, over 220 killed and more than 1,200 injured, most of them civilians, by Israeli air raids. In Israel, at least 14 dead and nearly 400 wounded from Iranian missile and drone strikes. The pain is personal in Tamra. An Iranian missile killed Manar Khatib and her 2 daughters, a stark reminder that war spares no one. Fear and displacement are rampant. Families flee or shelter in place, unsure if they'll survive the next attack. Foreign nationals scramble to escape Iran, while Pakistan closes its border after hundreds cross to safety. Daily life is paralyzed. Schools closed, businesses shuttered, and children growing up in fear. The scars of this war will last for generations, poisoning hopes for peace. The suffering of ordinary people is the most damning indictment of this conflict. Israel's defense is bolstered by direct U.S. and Western support, with allied forces intercepting Iranian missiles and drones. This international backing gives Israel a crucial edge and complicates Iran's strategy. Iran, by contrast, fights alone. Its proxies offer no real shield, and no foreign power defends its skies. Israel's civil defense is robust. Bomb shelters, reinforced rooms, and well-drilled emergency procedures help protect civilians. Iran's civil defense is less developed, leaving its population more exposed to airstrikes. The imbalance in support and preparedness shapes the war's toll on each nation. As Israeli strikes penetrate Iranian airspace, Iranian civilians bear the brunt of the devastation. The war is fought with words as well as weapons. Iran's leaders claim they seek to avoid escalation, but warn of massive retaliation if provoked further, sending mixed signals to the world. Israel frames its actions as self-defense, justifying Operation Rising Lion as a necessary strike against an existential nuclear threat. Both sides use rhetoric to rally support at home and send warnings abroad. Israel highlights the killing of top Iranian commanders as proof of its reach and resolve. Each statement is a calculated move in a high-stakes game of brinkmanship. The world waits, uncertain whether these words signal a path to peace or a slide into deeper war. The most alarming escalation: direct attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. Israeli strikes have reportedly crippled the Arak reactor and destroyed thousands of centrifuges at Natanz, setting back Iran's nuclear program. The risk of radiological disaster and the violation of international norms have triggered global alarm. The International Atomic Energy Agency warns of catastrophic consequences if nuclear sites are targeted in war. The U.S. faces a dilemma: support Israel's actions or condemn attacks on nuclear facilities that could spark a wider conflict. The nuclear shadow now looms over the region, not as a distant threat, but as a present danger. The stakes have never been higher, and the world is on edge. The future of nuclear non-proliferation hangs in the balance. The war's shockwaves are global. Oil prices have surged over 11%, fueling higher costs worldwide. Stock markets tumble, gold rises, and investors flee to safety as economic uncertainty spreads. The international community calls desperately for a ceasefire, but fighting rages on. The U.S. supports Israel defensively but is wary of deeper involvement. Most Americans oppose direct military action. The world wonders, will pressure and the mounting cost force a ceasefire, or will the conflict spiral further? As leaders weigh their next moves, the human cost keeps rising. The urgent need for peace has never been clearer, for the region and for the world.